Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tasty Trails Travel Pod. Today we're off to Indonesia, a country with over 17,000 islands, hundreds of dialects, and some of the most diverse and flavorful food traditions in the world. I'm joined by William Wongso, culinary consultant, cultural ambassador, and the man who once went head-to-head in a Rendang cook-off with none other than Chef Gordon Ramsay. William has spent decades promoting Indonesian food and culture around the globe through storytelling, gastrodiplomacy, and deep culinary research. In this episode, we dive into Indonesia's incredibly regionalized food traditions, the layers of meaning behind the iconic dishes like beef rendang, and what Jakarta might just be the unsung capital of the world in. So stay tuned to the end to hear what that is. We also talk about what it takes to preserve and promote culinary identity across thousands of islands and to the whole world. Don't forget, you can now watch the full conversation on the YouTube channel. Just search for Tasty Trails Travel and hit subscribe so you don't miss this podcast or any of the other videos that come out there. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the line here in the next few months. So I'm really excited to get the YouTube channel going again. But anyway, let's go. Hi, William. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Can you start off by telling us who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
My name is William Wongso. My professional career for the last 40 years as a culinary expert in many directions before. I started as a baker. No. Beforehand, I was in the radio, commercial radio, and a TV commercial and whatnot, And then for the last 20 years, I concentrate myself into to sustain the Indonesian culinary culture. So now I'm as a Indonesian culinary culture consultant. I work a lot with the government for the gastro diplomacy program, traveling around the world.
And before you were a chef, and I know you also, like you said, you did some baking and studied
Yes.
abroad in Europe as
Yeah,
well.
my first background was a baker and a pastry production, as I used to have bakery, artisanal bakery. I trained in Europe for cooking. I trained many places, including France and Japan. I learned some Chinese cooking too. But now I'm concentrate myself on the Indonesian to promote Indonesian food culture in general.
Yeah, I love that, especially because Indonesia is such a beautiful country. And I feel like everybody knows, Bali, but I think sometimes the rest of the country kind of gets lost behind that. And so I hope to see Indonesia come to the forefront, kind of like how Thai food is and stuff today as well. So what part of Indonesia are you from?
I live in Jakarta, but I'm originally from East Java.
Oh, okay.
Jakarta is in Java Island. Java Island is divided by East, Central, and West Java. I'm now at the West Java, but a special region named Jakarta was the Indonesian capital.
And I mean, so Indonesia has like 17,000, over 17,000 islands.
And the span west to east about 5,000 kilometers.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so massive. And within those islands, different ethnic groups, a bunch of different languages. And so I
600,
imagine.
about 700 dialect. I don't know how many ethnic, and 34 provinces with thousand of sub-province,
Wow.
village and all this. Yes.
That's crazy. So obviously we can't cover all of that today. But I wanted to start with a little bit of an overview. So maybe what are some of the key differences between some of the bigger regions food-wise?
Okay. Look, no one in Indonesia knows all the regional cooking.
Yeah, of course.
Except in Jakarta. Jakarta is melting pot. You might find some of the dishes coming from the region is sell in Jakarta, start from the street food, majority street food, and small warung. One of the region from West Sumatra, the food is known all over Indonesia, named as the Padang food, where Gordon Ramsay and me shooting in that region with the National Geography. because everybody knows everywhere you go, you find Padang food and come already locally twisted.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that and also about your cook-off with Gordon Ramsay. What are some of the staples of so I don't know, there's like five main islands in Indonesia, right? Like there's Java, Sumatra.
Sumatra, Kalimantan, Java, Bali, Sulawesi, Eastern Island.
Mm.
There's Maluku, and then Irian and Papua.
And so kind of among the big islands where most of the population is and stuff, are there pretty big differences between the cuisine, or is there something that unites all of them?
No, the majority population is in Java, about
Hmm.
60 or to 70%. Regional cooking is very, very diverse, very,
Okay.
very diverse. And if you can travel like in Sumatra, you can fly within 1 hour from North Sumatra to West Sumatra. Food profile are totally different. It's
Oh wow.
like non-related to each other. So
Wow.
it's like in West Sumatra, the Gordon Ramsay like to pursue one specific dish called West Sumatra rendang, beef rendang, which is caramelized beef curry. That alone in West Sumatra, they have 900 small region, and each region has their own kind of concoction and a mix of the ingredients with one common understanding. It has to be caramelized curry. They all must use very ripe coconut cream.
Okay, yeah. So I did really want to talk about rendang. So, like, what does that dish mean to the Indonesian kitchen?
Since Padang food is all over the country, and the way they serve, it doesn't show you are wealthy or just common people. Every dish they just throw on your table and you pay what you eat. They send it back to the pot
Ah, okay, okay.
and bring it back again for this is the way why it's so popular because you can be a truck driver and you can be the most wealthy person, you get the same thing on the table. The matter
Yeah,
is
yeah.
how many dishes they pick. There was always mistaken by many my international chef friends who came without any guidance. They went to this restaurant, they taste everything, and they end up to pay everything. Yeah.
So, okay, so what is rendang like at its base? I know there's a lot of variations, but
Well, look, until today, there's no any written literature where it came from because in West Sumatra, in Sumatra, there's a lot of cultural influence, like the Indian. It was a center of a cultural exchange. So, to my opinion, it can a lot of influence of the complex spices used in the spice mix used inside of the rendang is influenced by either Arab, Indian, or some maybe Chinese. My assumption is it could be by mistake because in the old days when they cook this rendang, they have no fridge, so they make a beef curry and then they keep it, they warm it up. They keep it one night. The next day they eat again. They warm it up until the fifth day it turned black, caramelized. So,
ah.
I'm surprised the aroma. Can you imagine when the spice mixed with the coconut cream and caramelized? The aroma is amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in old days they started using buffalo meat.
And nowadays, do they still use that? That traditionally,
No,
that's now
not
is
many.
beef.
Only certain region they use the buffalo.
Okay, and so it's like a soup essentially, soup-ish
No, it's a beef stew or
stew.
beef curry. It's thick with a heavy, heavy coconut cream. The
Got it.
first press is always the first press without water. So one
Okay.
coconut make about 6 or 7 ounces of
Okay.
coconut cream.
Okay.
And then they add another water to make the second press, which is become a coconut milk. The first cream, it has normally about 24% fat. And then after adding cream, water, press again maybe less than 20% fat.
Oh, okay.
For
Got it.
other dishes cooking, the light curry, the vegetable stew, those kind of thing they use. The cakes for sweets, they use less fat of you are using coconut milk.
And so then, what are some of the different variations of rendang that you see, even in just West Sumatra?
Sometimes if I ask a friend who is from West Sumatra, what is the best rendang? Oh, my grandma. My grandma rendang with kidney beans is the best. So the next question I ask, how many children your grandma has? 10. No wonder. You know what I mean? Little meat, a lot of beans to survive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right? The
yeah.
meat is expensive. So that's the indication, but a lot of people don't realize that. That's a smart way of the grandmother to sustain, to support the whole family. They all like the taste of rendang, but they can't afford to have the 100% beef. So they
Sure.
mix. But some other, they mix with pluck the wild leaf on the jungle
Oh,
and cook with the same thing. And when it comes to spices they're using, each region have a different mix of spices with chili, galangal, shallot, garlic. The majority of Indonesian cooking based on the spice base, not the dry spice like cloves, cinnamon, and star anise, and coriander, and so forth.
hmm. And do you find a wide variety of like spiciness in rendang, or is it not so
There
much
are two
variation?
versions. In general, Indonesian is a mindset that when they eat, they need sambal. You know sambal,
No.
salsa, chili salsa, like
Okay,
the
okay,
like the Mexican eating Tabasco and all this
okay.
kind of salsa. In Java, in particular, the chili salsa is always on the side. There are hundreds of variety. It's always on the side, then you can add on. But some other region, they build in the chili spice. The chili it's already built in the cooking.
Got it.
Like in North Sulawesi, like in some area of West Sumatra and some area in Sumatra, they cook more spices. But in general, they don't put the chili grounded into the mix.
Okay, so most places you can kind of choose what you
Yes,
want.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Or sometimes certain things they will, when they is instantly made, they will ask how many chili you want.
Okay, so you can decide.
Yeah,
Do most
yeah.
people like spicy food in Indonesia, or kind of it's
No,
all where
they
it
tend to,
goes?
it's a mindset.
Yeah.
Mainly, a lot of people, they like before they eat, where's the chili sauce?
Yeah. I'm like that. What's your favorite like Indonesian dish?
You see, if you ask my favorite, you have to ask where I grew up from. I grew up
Hmm.
in East Java. So every time if I dream for food, always I dream the dishes that I grew up with. But because I love and explore food in and among Indonesia and around the world, so I enjoy and I respect each regional specialty.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told all my friend, never say the food is not good to the food of others. You never can say that. If you don't like, fine. But cannot say this is not good. Because that's the new type of food.
Yeah, I really like that. And it's so true. Like maybe it's not something that you're used to and it's not like for you, but
Mm,
that doesn't mean
of
that it's
course.
not good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really like
like
that.
a lot of American cannot eat the whole fish on the plate.
Hmm. Because they're just not used to seeing fish
Oh
like
my
that.
God,
Yeah.
William, I can't stand the fish
Yeah.
staring at me.
Yeah. Is that kind of part of what you do as a food ambassador, a food and culture ambassador for Indonesia? Is that kind of part of what you do, is just making people aware of things like that? Or like what does your job as an ambassador entail?
I I I try to introduce each region with some storytelling, each region taste profile, and I encourage them to taste because I always say this, especially for the younger generation cook. They dream to be a celebrity chef. They dream. They want to be overnight as a chef. I told them, you can Google everything. There are millions of recipes you can Google, but you can't Google taste. So even to pursue a certain specific profile, then you must go to the original place to taste first. You cannot just learn from secondhand unless the person who trained you is living in Jakarta from the specific region.
Yeah.
And also the lot of indigenous ingredients, they can't travel. It's
Yeah.
specific to the region. Yeah.
Yeah. So you encourage kind of people to get out and about and visit these other places, the new
Yes.
places, and
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And so yeah, you had mentioned earlier you had your Rendang showdown with Gordon Ramsay. What was that experience like, kind of both as a chef and as like a representative of Indonesian cuisine and culture?
The point is that because Gordon came to Indonesia, is want to learn to understand the Indonesian food culture. That's why I told the first place when National Geography approached me, I said, they were asking the same. I said, you have 17,000 islands. Where do we stop? So I just take my mission at that time just to tell National Geography, I give you one place, no option, which is
Mm.
West Sumatra, because I want to create a national bonding. Everybody in the same time they know this food, so they will feel they are not from that specific region. They think this is also their food. And we got a tremendous of response when the program started to shown in public. Yeah.
What was it like, kind of talking to
Gordon?
yeah, such an internationally like renowned chef, and getting to show him your home. I mean, I know it's not like your island necessarily, but it's like your home
Uh,
culture and your home cook and
basically, basically a lot of misunderstanding about
yeah.
the Gordon Ramsay. For everyone, because he's very famous with the character of Hell Kitchen.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
Kitchen. Gordon came to Indonesia. I was his mentor.
Hmm.
So I told, yes, he listened to everything what I said. He has no clue about Indonesian cooking. When I
Yeah, so
show
he was there to
him,
learn.
when I shown him all the ingredients just for the spice alone, for the spice paste, he was shaking his head. William, impossible. Come to London and cook with me in my restaurant. His sous chef, I trained his sous chef 1 week, every day, cooking rendang.
Wow.
Every batch 4 hours, minimum.
Wow.
Mm.
And it takes that long to get the flavors to develop?
No, to tenderize the meat, to
Mm, yeah.
caramelize. It's a process.
Yeah.
If someone tell me they can do rendang in 2 hours, I said that's not rendang.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
because sometimes they put in the pressure cooker and all this. It's different things. I've been teaching around the world how to cook rendang in the modern way. I'm producing rendang in California.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. What have you found to be some of the like biggest misconceptions about Indonesian food and Indonesian culture?
They don't understand. A lot of people don't know Indonesia. And if they know, if I did this gastro diplomacy program. And then the next thing they ask, where is Indonesian restaurant? Is there any Indonesian restaurant in Buenos Aires?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't
Is
think
there
so.
any Thai restaurant in Buenos Aires?
Thai, yes.
Yes. Is there any Vietnamese restaurant in Buenos Aires?
There's some fusions where there's Vietnamese stuff, but not. I don't know if
And
there's
how
just.
about Japanese food?
Oh yeah, there's a
Yeah.
gajillion places of Japanese food. Yeah.
This is Indonesian is lacking of this. We are also lacking of education on this food culture.
hmm And how have you seen, have you seen a big change recently from, 10, 20 years ago in how
Mm,
well known Indonesia is?
the changes is encouraged starting of the social media.
hmm
On the TV, there's a lot of TV program they eat around Indonesia. And so this is encouraged Indonesian when they travel one place to the other place, they will ask to through the Facebook or to Instagram asking what is local specialty. That's yes. But there's a few numbers start to grow is Indonesian restaurant on the middle up market, but still percentage wise, for instance, in Jakarta is very low. All the unlike in Thailand, in all Indonesian five-star hotel, there's no Indonesian specific Indonesian restaurant. In the
Really?
menu, there are some few, yes. In Thailand, every five-star hotel they have Thai restaurant,
Yeah.
not in Indonesia.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, we don't have a good training because it's hard to find a very good Indonesian chef for this
Wow.
generation.
That's very, very crazy.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
if you were to go to kind of to the different islands, so like if I were to go to Jakarta, what would be the dish that you would suggest that I try?
Jakarta, I would say, is a world champion of noodle in one place
Okay.
because the variety of noodle in Jakarta is no other places can beat. Even you go to China, you go to Shanghai, there's only few variety. The specific of how you go to Hong Kong is because in Jakarta, every region has a type of noodle
Oh wow.
from the
Cool.
local Indonesian or the Chinese heritage.
Okay, so it's
So,
because
and
of the
everybody,
mix.
yeah, and everybody is not debatable. Everybody have their own favorite. The
hmm
same like rendang. If you ask what is the best rendang, everybody will tell their own story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's really fun, and I love the variety. Just makes it like you can always find something different.
Yes,
Um,
the
yeah.
same. The
So,
same like if people ask me, "What is your favorite wine?" I don't have my favorite wine. I like to enjoy good wine
hmm yeah. Well, and and that's the
randomly.
best thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
just good
Someone, oh,
food.
I like spring. It's bullshit, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't believe that. And people ask me, what's your favorite food? I said, of course, my grew up comfort food.
hmm
If I tell you my favorite is sashimi or sushi, I'm lying. How many times I eat the sushi and sushi? That's a very specific things, you know. People don't understand that.
Do you have any travel tips that maybe people couldn't find on Google? Some like local inside knowledge on either traveling Indonesia in general. And it doesn't have to be food related. It can be anything.
Yes, a lot
Um,
of people ask me. I have a note when I'm traveling within the city in Indonesia or internationally. I would share that I know.
yeah, can you
Yeah.
give some of the listeners a few suggestions that maybe they couldn't find on Google?
Where in Jakarta or where?
And in Indonesia, it doesn't have to be Jakarta, but somewhere travel tips for Indonesia in general.
Well, it's very diverse. It's very diverse, Kathy. Well, let's say in you go to Bali. Bali already mostly known, but the food that the foreigner know is a spit roast pig called babi guling, whole spit roast pig. That is specifically and internationally known. But beyond that, there's a lot of local. The satay. The
Really
satay
good.
in Bali, there's a lot of satay place. There's a lot of pork, some with the fish, with the minced fish. And also very specific in Bali is they call it lawar. Lawar is a kind of salad, but cooked, mostly cooked with a different mix of spices and very specific that for lava, the locally like to mix with the fresh blood. So
Okay.
if the lava has a consist of a pork, cooked pork meat, they keep the blood fresh, and when before you serve it, they mix with the fresh blood
Oh, wow.
and
That's
mix it.
wild.
That's wild. That's a specific of Bali. They eat a lot of pork. But if you go to North Sulawesi, the local dishes is basically very spicy. It's already mixed, and they eat everything fly, anything run, everything crawl,
Okay. So anything, yeah.
anything
Uh,
you name it, they eat.
oh,
They
wow.
eat a lot of dog,
Oh, wow.
a lot of dog. Yeah, flying fox. So this is that particular is not Sulawesi. And Java more mild. Java is a lot of Muslim. They the kind of food is not very bold, but like talking about the soup, we call soto, and there are a lot of variety of soto. A lot. Now it depends of, and a lot of these good nice places that I like to go is a lot on the street.
Oh, okay. So street food.
You never can get a good satay inside of the building
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes
because
you
the
just gotta.
smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense.
The mostly popular is chicken satay and the goat meat satay.
Oh, okay. Goat meat. Hmm.
Very little beef.
Okay. But thank you so, so much for coming on and
My pleasure.
chatting. There's one
Yeah.
question that I like to ask everybody who comes on, and that is, what would your last meal be?
I've been asked thousands of questions. I can't say because I enjoy. I told them if I ask for my last meal, of course I will go back to my childhood dish.
And what
Yeah,
dish?
soto,
Ah,
soup,
okay. Got it. Got it. Got
comfort
it. I
food
mean,
soup. Yeah,
it's nice to have that comfort food for sure.
yes, yes.
And so where can people find you? Where can they connect with you? Find your episode with Gordon Ramsay? How
Uh,
can people connect with you?
my Instagram, William Wongso. That's it.
Okay,
They can
great.
find me. Who ask any question, they want to come. If they need some advice on the where to eat in just Google DM me. I'm doing many culinary tour. So in June I have a group from Philippines and another group coming from US.
Oh,
I work
amazing.
yeah I work closely with Eat Smart Travel in uh, in 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 Providence, in in Madison.
Oh, I went to
It's
school in
smart.
Madison.
Yeah, it's smart travel. You can
Oh,
Google that. My program last in June. This is
okay,
the
great.
second time. It was the first time was 2016.
Oh, very cool. Okay, well, yeah, I'll make sure to link all of that. So thank you so much for coming
My
on.
pleasure.
Let's start making Indonesian food as ubiquitous as Thai and Japanese food. We could all benefit from having more of these delicious flavors in our lives. Make sure to share this episode with anyone heading to Indonesia who's been or is just interested in learning more about that beautiful part of the world. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, leave a review. It only takes a few seconds, like literally just a few seconds, and it really means the world. So see you back here next week. Bye. Did you love this episode and are inspired to pack your bags? I offer 30-minute consultation calls for select destinations to give you the confidence in planning your international trip. I can help you with your itinerary, logistics, cultural norms, and so much more. It's an easy and affordable way to get professional insights while still planning your own adventure. Check out the link in the description to book or head to tastytrailstravel.com to learn more. Bye.